Who are the 17%? Who are they? Who the hell are the 17%? Anybody in here from the 17%? Don't raise your hand. It may be dangerous.
You guys know what this represents?
What else, sir?
Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
Get comfy, no, get ready for war. They started it all, now it's time to settle the score. New recruits, join us where the veterans are. Lace your boots, prepare to earn medals and stars. Information warfare, they want control of your mind. They dumb you down, it's easy to take control of the blind. Question the narrative, you never know what you'll find. We can always see the evil cause we know it's designed. The old guard's collapsing, we're here to watch it happen. Enough of the build up, we're ready for the action. The part of the movie where we understand the action as we look around the room at each other's reactions. Horrifying evil rising up to the surface. Demons in the ether realizing that they're worthless. NPCs walk amongst us without a purpose. They know the time's up and see that it wasn't worth it. Brainstorm family, holding it down. They control the narrative, but we're controlling it now. It's like 1984 when they're controlling the crowd. We break the matrix into pieces that we burn to the ground. Together we are the phoenix rising from the ashes, tearing down the system and laughing as it crashes. Brutalize the deep state and give them 50 lashes. Cause we aren't slaves and these people are our masters. We go to war for our families, do it for the kids. It shouldn't be this way, but that's just the way it is. We bring truth to y'all until there's nothing left to give. We give demons no authority to tell us how to live. This is our world and our job is taking it back. These are our girls and our boys are under attack. Social engineering, every step is a trap. We teach you how to navigate through every step of the map. Brainstorm family, coming at you live, finding all the truth as they rummage through the lies. Patriots united while this evil's on the rise. Lift the veil on the system and see through the disguise. This is our time to shine. These are our minds combined. Society has declined, realigning the design. Realize your mind has been attacked and been assigned to be a vessel of the indoctrination that you're trying. In the matrix, we're breaking utter devastation and destruction to every single move that they're making. The ground is shaking, breaking from the anticipation of the moment that we capture back the soul of the nation demonstration. Bringing back the bases, man, this nation's ready for the revelation of this evil that we're facing. Agents of the matrix making power moves and mazes. Full armor of God and we're coming for you, Satan.
Green light.
What's up, brother?
What up?
You ready for this?
We'll see.
Could be something, could be nothing. Guess we'll find out. You have any thoughts going in? They're doing a commercial on Right Side Broadcasting right now, so I'll pull it up as soon as it's over.
No, I don't really have any thoughts. It's hard to tell what. I'm just curious. They say it's supposed to be big. Obviously, it's going to do something that's going to tick off somebody since NBC and ABC have refused to air it.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
From what they're saying, he's got some proof of election corruption, and he's probably going to go through and call those two out for.
Exactly. So you want my perception? It's very possible. So the huge media conglomerates not covering a presidential address, that could almost be seen as treason, right?
You would think so.
And the president of the United States has one thing at his disposal. He could very easily drop emergency broadcasting system and absolutely take over. Have you ever heard of the Giant Voice?
Yeah.
Giant Voice is the military emergency broadcasting system. It's very possible he could say, hey, I want you guys to hold on for about 30 seconds while we do this. If this isn't a huge shout out to these media companies being treasonous and not bringing you the truth and the facts. I mean, so there's a theory out there that China, he's going to point out China as election interference. I don't think that will be the case. Let me tell you why. Wouldn't if Trump got on and did an address to the nation and accused China of interfering with the elections in 2020, could that be considered an act of war? Making that big of an accusation on another country?
I mean, realistically, anything can be considered. You know what I mean? Like, that's just somebody's perception, right?
I mean, World War I or World War II was started for less.
Right.
Well, World War I was started from an assassination, and World War II was from something. Why am I drawing a blank? It was something stupid. It's also possible that he walks Mr. Maduro out, and Maduro confesses to utilizing Smartmatic. Are you aware of the Smartmatic back in the? That's the counting system.
The counting system that they said that they felt like was flawed, or
it's very possible he could walk Maduro out, and Maduro confessed to interfering with multiple country elections, including the overtake of Iran, the overtake of Iraq, the overtake of, oh God, how many more? It's hard to tell how many more countries that Smartmatic could have influenced.
Right.
It will be it, but then we've waited on many of these, and it'd be a nothing burger.
Right.
I don't think he's going to drop names. I would suspect he's probably going to talk about an investigation in anticipated indictments. From what I understand, he's going to have the director of CIA behind him and director of the FBI, Kash Patel. I'm drawing a blank on the director of CIA. I can see his face. But I guess we'll see. It's supposed to come out at 9 o'clock. I think most of the nation addresses, he's been on time, but you know how Trump time is. We'll see. We'll see how timely he is.
Be located in the pharmacy, but we do have our physicians who are located throughout the United States that we can put you in touch with. Based on where you live, will be based on where they're licensed. So there are a lot of different ways, but when you call that phone number, it's a real person. It's a real American. They live a very similar story to you live. They understand what you're going through and what you're looking for, because we have pharmacists who train them that way. Now, a lot of our technicians can't give a lot of medical advice. However, we have pharmacists on staff that can help with that. There are 4 to 5 at all times. And on top of that, we have a bunch of different physicians who give us the guidance that we need as well.
Awesome. Great stuff. Michael Kunstler, the owner of All Family Pharmacy. Thank you for what you guys do for the American people. And thank you for your partnership here at Right Side.
Thank you, sir.
Definitely. Good evening once again, and welcome back into RSBN Live. I'm Matthew Alvarez. In just a few minutes, in front of the nation, President Trump delivers a primetime address from the White House. Tonight's national address is a kickoff of sorts from the fact that we have the midterm election, which is just 3.5 months away. This, as the White House is saying tonight, defending America's election integrity is paramount, and that American elections are for American citizens. Again, earlier, Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt posting the following quote, saying, "Some of the facts that will be revealed in President Trump's speech tonight are truly shocking. If the networks were truly serving the public interest, they would air it, and as a country, we would collectively resolve to take action." So let's take a quick look at the Save America Act as we are awaiting President Trump any minute from now. Of course, it consists of voter ID, proof of citizenship, and no more mail-in ballots unless it's for military or medical or a few other instances. And the best way for it to pass right now is nuking the filibuster. We'll see what happens. There are a few on board with that, but we have to see some more momentum, of course, on Capitol Hill. And as we await that, we'll be covering it here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're live every day, Monday through Friday here. It is even on the weekends if there's any breaking news out there. So thank you so much for live streaming in right now as we get ready to cover President Trump's speech. And guess who's not covering it? Some in the mainstream media are deciding, let's have some censorship today in the United States of America. Why are they so afraid to cover something that reveals truth, evidence, receipts, and facts? We know what happened in 2020. We know what happened in 2020. So we're going to hear from President Trump here shortly. Again, this is going to be, I'm hearing, maybe a speech that is lasting about 23 minutes, that per some sources. So we'll see as that happens here, as it's now 8 o'clock on the Central Time Zone, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Thanks so much for watching.
I'm going to say 17 minutes.
Mountain Time Zone, the Pacific Time Zone.
What's up, Puggies?
We're getting ready now. As we saw earlier, Carolyn Levitt back at that podium for the White House press briefing, which was pretty awesome to see her back after maternity leave. And obviously a rock star, the GOAT of press secretaries, handling the press today, especially the press that was so concerned about President Trump's speech tonight. It didn't even happen yet, and they were all concerned about it. Well, you can watch it right here, and you can watch it in conservative media and to the other networks that are actually airing it. So great to see that. And those of you watching on your phone, whether it's on X or Rumble or YouTube or the app, thank you so much for doing so. Pass this link around to your friends and family. And guess what? We'll be live here tomorrow as well, covering 24/7 news here at RSBN and into next week. We know that September 9th and 10th is the midterm RNC National Convention as well. So a lot going on in the upcoming few months into the midterm elections. And of course, we see the president meeting with various leaders at the White House as well, just like earlier this week with the Iraqi prime minister. So you can see it all pretty much here on RSBN. So thanks so much again for live streaming in. It's all about we the people. Let's go to President Trump.
Before we begin, I'm proud to report that our country is safer, stronger, and far wealthier than it has ever been before. We are doing great. Less than 2 years ago, we inherited an economic and social disaster. After the worst inflation in 48 years, the wide open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, including criminals of all types, and 11,888 murderers, many of whom killed more than one person. We had transgender for everybody, men and women sports, crime ravaging our cities, and the whole world was laughing at us as a nation, but not anymore. 2 years ago, our country was dead. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. America is respected like we have never been respected before. We have more money being invested in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. More Americans are working today than ever before. This week, it was announced that inflation saw the largest monthly decline in more than 6 years. Just happened. It was just given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The tax cuts in our great, big, beautiful bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars, like with the provisions, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, along with the interest deduction on a loan used to purchase a car, but only if that car is made in America, and a 100% expensing for our job-creating businesses. Our stock markets are at their highest point in many years, but we can actually say of all time. And your 401ks, pensions, and retirement accounts are setting records every single day, the highest in history. For years, we paid the highest price for prescription drugs anywhere in the world. Now we pay the lowest price under my most favored nations policy because I was able to get the rest of the world and the pharmaceutical companies to act responsibly. Drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, and 90%. TrumpRx.gov, this will ultimately reduce the cost of healthcare. You have to go to TrumpRx.gov and take advantage of it. But the cost of healthcare is coming way down because of what we've done with prescription drugs. And with Trump accounts, every child in America now has access to a tax-free investment account to save for their future. Billions and billions of dollars are being invested, put in by companies and individuals to take care of our children so that at age 18, they will have potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in their account, and they'll get off to a great start in life. So for that, go to TrumpAccounts.gov and sign up your child or any child who'd like to sign up. Our previously wide open borders have been transformed into the most secure borders in the history of our country, with 0 illegal aliens being admitted to the United States in the past 14 months. That is 0. Nobody thought it was possible. We had the worst border in the history of our country, and now we have the best. Crime is plummeting nationwide, with the murder rate at its lowest level since 1900, or more than 125 years ago. We're making a record investment in our armed forces, and we have the strongest and most powerful military by far anywhere in the world. I built it during my first term, and unfortunately, we're forced to use it now. We won in Venezuela, which is now working with us to produce millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly. America is back and doing really well, but we still have a major challenge that must be urgently addressed, because no country can be great without fair and honest elections. You have to trust your country, because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness. And that's very simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure. One where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes, and really exposes like levels never thought possible, to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, a great group of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings. We are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov. Go check it out. Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing. The documents cover 5 major areas of concern. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare. The intelligence even shows that China assigned a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project. Compounding the travesty, the second set of documents we are releasing reveals that members of the deep state, very, very famous group of people, in many cases, in our intelligence agency work to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling, covering it up from both the president and the American people like nobody thought was possible. U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020 when they discovered that tens of millions of voter data, think of that, tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states have been bought, stolen, or hacked by China. Yet those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden. They did not disclose to me as president or to anyone else, and to the best of our knowledge, they did not inform Congress. In fact, all they kept saying is, this is the most secure election in the history of our country, a standard, very pat line that was divvied out to say. The cover-up of this colossal security breach is even more disturbing in light of the additional information showing that China engaged in other election-related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign. They did not want, and they just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his re-election. Isn't that nice? Also, in mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the United States was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job, and they did everything possible to do exactly that. Going on, this document says, and this is by the CIA, the strategy included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to influence U.S. business leaders to turn against the President of the United States of America. The Chinese government sought to identify U.S. journalists who had reported negatively on the U.S. president and pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could, and they didn't care what they said. The Chinese government wanted U.S. president to lose the next election, and the reason they wanted me to lose is because they knew I was wise to them, charged them billions and billions of dollars worth of tariffs, and built the strongest military anywhere in the world. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world. These are exact quotes from the CIA reporting. The name of the person doing the quote is now under review, but it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020, yet buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that China's activities even included an attempt to manufacture illegal ballots for Joe Biden. Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out that was of importance. One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be blatantly political. Recently, we found significant numbers of burn bags in formation, and this is a group of bags that were used to destroy information given by President Barack Hussein Obama to be burned. It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different people, incinerated and checked, but it never happened. Maybe we got lucky. We believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross incompetence of the people that were supposed to burn the bags. But the findings are stunning. Today, I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people. Yet concealing China's meddling was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems, dishonest, almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that. Tonight, we're publishing a series of previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments and other reports proving that our government has long known these machines are extremely exposed to attack. As one assessment states, we judge that the United States adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, as well as non-state groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. That's unquote, but that's some statement, isn't it? Made by supposedly great patriots of our country. The document goes on to further state that, quote, we assess that centralized election-related data repositories, such as voter registration databases, poll books, and other official election websites, are most vulnerable to exploitation, and adversaries could use this access to these systems to disrupt election processes within the United States of America. Tonight, we're releasing all of those findings, and spanning from January 2020 to June 2026. This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy. Many people have questioned whether it could actually be possible to electronically manipulate vote totals or change election results on these terrible machines. Today, we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro regime in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020, and that's what they did. This reporting included precise details about methods to regime develop to digitally alter vote totals in ways that could not be detected even with an audit, no matter how deep they went. This intelligence underscores why we must take urgent action to ensure that our own system can never, ever be hacked or compromised like it was in the past. The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State Police raided a Democrat Get Out the Vote organization, corrupt group in Muskegon. And we're so concerned by what they found. They were just so concerned. They couldn't believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered to vote. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible. Hundreds of millions of U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments. Our machines and ballot counting systems are exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been buried. Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls. And yet we still have elections with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail. As one example of the insanity, California's recent election for mayor of LA and governor was held on June 2nd, long time ago, but it was just completed a few days ago on July 10th. Think of that, much more than 1 month. Took a month to count the votes. I wonder what they were doing. This is worse than any third world country. There's no third world country that has elections like we have. In a rare move, NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections. Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for multi-billion-dollar assets. Great damage has been done to our country. Our elections were left vulnerable to being rigged and stolen, and the trust of the American people was lost. This cannot be allowed to continue. Every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, really, we should be together, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everybody. And it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to divide us. This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided. In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that sensitive voter data is better protected so we can never be bought, we can never be hacked, and we can never watch a stolen election again. Tomorrow, the Secretary of Homeland Security will hold a briefing to outline his department's recent work confirming cyber vulnerabilities in our electronic voting systems. They are bad. We're in the process of informing governors, senators, and members of Congress of potential issues in their states. If you look at voting today, it's in such bad shape in so many states, and we are committing to fix it. And we're also committing to be working with those states and local jurisdictions to help them fix and patch known technical vulnerabilities before the midterm elections. We have very important elections coming up. We want those elections to be honest. I've also ordered DHS to notify every state about non-citizens on their voter rolls and direct them to remove all ineligible voters from the lists immediately. But most importantly, addressing this crisis of election security demands that Congress must pass the Save America Act. How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat? The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you can't get away or can't get elected any other way. This landmark bill requires that all voters must show photo voter ID. How simple is that? Could I have your photo, please? Photo voter ID. All voters must provide proof of citizenship. Are you a citizen of our country, please? And hopefully there will be no corrupt mail-in ballots, which if you watched California and so many other places, mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt. So you would have no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel if you're going away on business or vacation. These reforms are urgently needed to stop the vulnerabilities that I've mentioned. To all Americans, I ask you to pick up your phone tomorrow, call your representatives in the House and Senate, and demand that they pass the Save America Act without delay. Together, we will restore faith and confidence in our country, and we will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our great military, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
The president delivering a primetime national.
Well, that was interesting. What you guys think?
Oh, interesting timing and everything with the midterms coming up and stuff. I was hoping he was going to do the EBS.
Yeah, me too. Not ready yet. So it's up. You just got to click on this bar right here on top, this white bar. Ensuring the integrity of elections is fundamental to preserving and trust in American democracy. There's the election integrity one. Oh, that's just the base. There's the fours underneath. There's the vulnerabilities in the electronic voting and ballot counting systems. There's
they had that out quick too, because right after he said it, I pulled it up just to see if it was already there, and it was there.
Yep. China's acquisition, Michigan voter registration investigation, non-citizen with state voter rolls.
Find it more interesting. I'm sure hoping that there's a lot of arrest and public stuff on all these people that were withholding all this information from him years ago. That's probably the most interesting part. I mean, anybody, even with me being as new to all this as what I am, you knew Russia, China, they were all messing with our elections at some point in time or the other. But to know that they've got, and it sounds like he knows who it was. There's people that are withholding information and briefings, daily briefings and stuff from him as a president of our country. That's kind of scary.
That's treason, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what
And
I think.
That's gonna. I mean, we know those players are basically like Peter Strzok and Lisa. Is it Page or Monaco or I can't. Lisa Page. Yeah. Like I mean, he's talked about all these people before, and so I mean, it's just if you've been listening, you can start to put the pieces together.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard part. This is nothing new to those that's been in this whole realm for a while. That was nothing new to any of us, but some of the other people sitting there saying that they're, hopefully their jaws hit the floor.
Well, that and Melissa was reading some posts off Facebook that some people we know are posting, and the insanity of like what some of these people think. You know what I mean? They think that the CNN and ABC and them are right not to air it. Like you just don't care. I mean, like he's right about what he said. This should not be a partisan issue. Everyone should want to know that we're being messed with and by who. Like, and it shouldn't matter just because you hate Trump. That's what it's all about. Is hatred for one single person for a name. Drives these people insane. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be mattered, but it's gonna be. They're gonna blow it out that he's just trying to rig more elections, or they'll spin it how they want to spin it. Everybody should care, because one way or another, I mean, 2020 didn't go their way, or wouldn't have went their way if they didn't do all this stuff that he's got proof of doing it. But who's to say, the next one, and what is it, 28 or whatever, would go their way, but they influence it a different way? It doesn't make sense. Why would you not want your voice to be heard?
Well, the interesting part about all this is these reports were written by the people that perform the task.
Right.
They've told on themselves.
Yeah, that's what. Because he was saying the reporting was by the CIA, the FBI. And when he's saying that, I'm sitting there like, these are all people that none of us should trust.
Right. And they've all told on themselves. You can't tell me someone didn't not take the burn bags and burn them.
Easiest job in the government. Burn the burn bag.
More than likely, what happened is a military professional stepped in and said, "What are you doing with these bags? You're not going to burn them, are you? That's treason. You don't want to be that guy, do you?" That's my perception. There was a big badass SEAL Team 6 or Delta Force team come in and say, "Nope, you ain't doing that."
Here, let me see those. I'm gonna need to take those for a minute.
Right.
Let me help yourself. Help you help yourself.
Right. All right. Well, we got some other stuff to dig into, I guess, fellas.
Yeah. Hey, I was kind of hoping we could put last night's show off till next week due to the fact that I need to do a little bit more studying.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. And life was life. And yes, I think all of us had something going on. So be very, very flexible. If you want to do 2 shows in 1 week, we'll figure it out.
Cool.
Yeah, that Walter Forsheimer is an interesting character.
So yeah, nothing earth-shattering for a lot of us, but you know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, like we have to consider that most people don't really care. I mean, obviously, you know what I mean? And it's gonna take what seems mundane to many of us, I guess, to get there. It's exhausting.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Nobody wants to put, I don't know if they don't care or they just don't care to put enough time into it. I mean, that's one thing that I've kind of been learning with this stuff is like, there's times even when we're doing our digs for these shows, I do some digging, but the way my life runs, a lot of times I don't have a whole lot of time. I just go through, there's been times where I've had to run through and in the show prep stuff, just kind of read up on it just to basically Stormy's doing my digging for me on this stuff because
I don't have
I've-
near as much time as I used to. It used to be a lot more, but we're finding some interesting stuff. And this next one's going to go be super historical, I think, especially when you look at the book collection he had and who gave him the book collections and who the authors were and where they come from, because he was collecting all these books for intelligence. So how much of those books influence the way obviously the way the CIA is built? And some of these characters back in the 13, 14, 1500s, you know, they were crooked as hell. So
Yeah, it's going to end up being an interesting and fun one when
Yeah.
we go next week for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys got anything else? All right.
Nope.
Well, Patriot stay strong. I think he might have made some people nervous this evening.
Oh, I do have one quick thing. I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw it, but Enoch posted that his new MAGApalooza is going to be in Western Pennsylvania.
Nice.
I think it's going to be at the Johnny's campground that they go to all the time.
Near Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yep, near Pittsburgh. Yep. So I thought that was pretty cool, considering like where you live and stuff. Like, you know, maybe we can all get it together or whatever. You know, if it works out. But
Yeah. Let's figure it out.
yeah, hell yeah.
All those
Right.
watching, show up. Let's go. It's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah, we'll get some more information on that, and we'll put it out there and see if we can get some people to join him.
All right, man.
Awesome. All right, well, I figure this is probably the best one to end this show on, but we'll see you guys Wednesday night. Love
Night,
your
everyone.
brain, love your brains, love your butts, love your hearts. There it is. There we go. Peace.
The poorest way to face life is to face it with a sneer. There are many men who feel a kind of twisted pride and cynicism. There are many who confine themselves to criticism of the way others do what they themselves dare not even attempt. There is no more unhealthy being, no man less worthy of respect than he who either really holds or feigns to hold an attitude of sneering disbelief toward all that is great and lofty, whether in achievement or in that noble effort which, even if it fails, comes to second achievement. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deed have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again. Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who, at the best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.